Friday night in the Rocky Mountains, over 6,000 feet above sea level. Widener Field in Colorado Springs playing site. Two hugely informed Western Conference sides. Welcome to tonight's broadcast presented by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. It's Colorado Springs Switchbacks at home to take on Orange County SC. With Devin Kerr, Mike Watts on hand. The Mountain Division right now shows Colorado Springs with a draw, level with El Paso. A win, jump El Paso into second place. All signs go right now.
This is all about form right now for Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. El Paso Locomotive knocked off their 18-game unbeaten run. RGV lose on the weekend to FC Tulsa. Orange County, by the way, in the Pacific. If they can snag 3 points, they can jump into second in their division, both of which, Mike, will have games in hand on the leader.
And these sides are looking pretty similar right now.
I've seen this before, right? This is scary similar. 5 games unbeaten for both teams. Neither have lost since the third game of this season. Slow starts, and you don't want to call it a fast finish. We got a long way to go, but they found the form in the final third. Strikers, defense, everything at play for both of these squads. The only team better right now is San Diego Loyal. 7 games unbeaten at 5-0-2.
Devin, shall we talk about some Haji history?
Seen it before, done it before. 2018, Haji Berry went 8 goals in 8 games consecutively to set the streak. He's right there. The only game he has not scored in is the 3-0 loss at the beginning of the season to Switchbacks FC. As mentioned, they haven't lost since Friday, May 21st. Tonight, if he scores again, he can replicate his mark set in 18. He can also surpass a record. His 99th regular season appearance with 2 goals. He'll bag 50 in the regular season, surpassing Chandler Hoffman, who did it in 100.
Meanwhile, for Orange County, Thomas keeps playing like this. We're just going to call him Ronaldo.
Not bad, is he? The problem is they're going to be without him on the offensive side of the ball. International duty, we'll get there in a second. Everybody has gone down for this team, but not Damas. You play him in the 7, in the 11, play him up top in the 9. 21 goals, 7 assists in 35 appearances in his time at North Texas. Now a full international for the Haitian national team. He's done wondrous things for Bladen Cloutier in Orange County SC. The problem, though, Mike, is they're not going to have him tonight. He's on his own goal scoring streak of his own, 5 in a row, 6 goals in that time frame. International duty, Kasipli to injury, John as well, Voltson and Jones. They have a problem up top. Can Markkinen step in? Can Brian Olowski help out? Kuninga Smith, they've got talent, but can they get it executed on the road against a hot squad?
That's no less than 4 starters out for Orange County tonight and potentially moving forward. Colorado Springs is back home. Springs and Orange County coming right up.
This is our last chance for us to make playoffs. I need y'all to lay it all out on the line.
I'm coming for everything. I need somebody that's looking out for me.
She don't own your ideas.
Coop signed a contract with my label, so I do have control.
Our justice system is fundamentally broken.
We fought to save this football program, but now there's something bigger to fight for. If we do nothing, then when's it gonna stop?
All-American. Watch Monday at 7 on SoCo CW. Fox 21's Craig Coffey, voted the Gazette's Best of the Springs winner, morning TV anchor.
His market set in 18. He can.
These player walkouts are brought to you by Children's Hospital Colorado. Colorado Springs taking on Orange County. 2 sides in tremendous form. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr. Let's take a look at tonight's starting 11s brought to you by Phil Long. Orange County missing those major pieces we talked about. Still very talented.
4 changes, and the noticeable one, Mike, is the fact that Michael Orozco comes to the back line next to Kobe Henry. He's been playing in the 6 in the midfield, but in the absence of the back line with Rob Kiernan, they've got to find a way to fill that void. So they've done that there. The problem is going to be as they move forward. So they are great defensively. They're all said, I have no issue here. But as they spring into the attack, what are they going to do? And can they keep pace with this high-power offense that has been Colorado Springs, Switchbacks FC, and Brendan Burke? As mentioned, Haji Berry, 99th regular season appearance, sitting on 48 regular season goals. Don't sleep on Michi Galina on the right wing. This guy, I got to say it, it's unfortunate that he's here. He should be at another level. He's that good. And oh, by the way, we got Deshane Beckford. Andre Lewis pulling the strings underneath. 3 changes overall. Michael Edwards onto the back line. It's an interesting squad for Brendan Burke. Thought it might take a little bit more time. 3 games in, they got it going. They're doing just fine.
Well, let's be very frank. It is a rainy, and in some ways dreary Friday night. And yet, good crowd tonight at Widener Field. Surely there'll be fireworks when this night is over, but we are underway. Colorado Springs and Orange County. One of the great matchups, Devin, of this weekend. I think this one was circled by everyone who follows the league closely.
Absolutely. And given the fact that, look, I would have circled that week 1, yet alone the form that they're in, right? 2 great goal scorers. Of course, we don't have Damas on international duty. That's a great nod to him with Haiti. And it will impact this game. But it's impacted Orange County before, but everybody would have said this will be a fun one come the end of June, beginning of July. Now it's even better. How do they step up into it, though, Mike? The fact that some of them are on a little bit short rest, these players, obviously the team's still finding a way to start fast, and everybody chasing San Diego Loyal right now. 7 games unbeaten for San Diego Loyal. They're trying to make moves in the Pacific Division. Orange County hot on their heels, though, sitting on 15 points. A win does push them into second.
Smith playing that forward. Bypasses Olaski. Olaski now. Olaski will have a go with a heavy ricochet into base camp. Well said. This will be a corner. Orange County, 3rd in the Pacific Division. Mentioned that they are 5 unbeaten. It would be easy to look at the schedule and say they haven't played at this stadium yet, but they did. The soft open of this stadium in preseason, a 2-2 draw between these two sides. This corner kick is brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, that's what I like. Header snared back across. Richards went up a second time, back set. This game of hacky sack concludes with Colorado Springs launching out to midfield. Uh-oh, look at him run. Nearly through. And ripping around on the outside was Beckford. That's going to be an early card to Alston.
Had to take him down here, Kevin Alston. He had no choice. If Deshane Beckford gets around him, he's in. Simple as that. There's too much real estate here for Beckford, and it's a mismatch. A different point in Kevin Alston's career, he can win that race, but he's got to play a different game. Too much speed for Deshane Beckford on the outside to try and win it in a one-on-one situation with open air in front.
A yellow card issued to Kevin Alston. Caution is sponsored by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Remember to take a moment to breathe. Won't be many of those moments tonight for Alston. Sebastian Anderson will put this in play. The Rapids homegrown. We'll head this back. Devin, I know this is an Olympic training capital, Colorado Springs. It feels like the entire track and field team is playing for Colorado Springs right now, the way Barry runs, Beckford runs. It's front to back. And you get teams at altitude, and it's hugely frustrating. We've spoken to a lot of teams about Colorado Springs. No one envies the idea of playing against them.
Agree with everything you said, and yet, do you remember the last question that I asked Brendan Burke before getting off the phone with him in our midweek call? I said, is it just me, or have you guys gained this tremendous ability to slow the game down and really allow the tempo to be dictated on your own terms? I'm not talking about the counter-attacking option, Mike. We know that. This team can now put it on the deck and knock it around with the best of them. Philip Mayaka, the youngster drafted out of Clemson University. Mike Noonan knew the talent that he had. And as he goes to Colorado, they just need to continue to develop him. But he's really good with the ball at his feet. Ronnie Argueta in midfield, playing through the likes of Andre Lewis. This team is great in build-up form. And it's going to have to be better than that from Orange County. Otherwise, you're playing right into the hands. You cannot give this team opportunities.
The way Barry and Beckford were closing down, Henry in miscommunication with Abe Romero. Third start of the season for Romero. This corner kick is brought to you by Pikes Peak National Bank. Bank well, be well, cheer loud. Calvillo. Devin, the funny thing about talking to Brendan Burke 2 years ago in Bethlehem and talking to him now was describing the inability to, maybe with an older team, expect guys to use the whole tank of gas every time out, that a younger team in Bethlehem was more capable of that. But at altitude, you're clearly the fitter team every night. Why not? It's a team that has certainly bought in to Brendan Burke early in his tenure, his first season at the helm. This is intercepted by Argueta. Turn by Barry. Came away from Galena. Foul from Mahoney. There's Brendan Burke. Took Bethlehem Steel to an Eastern Conference semifinal in 2018, an assistant for the Union, head coach for Reading United, the spectacular USL League Two side.
I got to have the word with the front office, though. They're leaving my man out to dry. Get it? Dad joke, pun intended. You can't get rid of me, man. Come on, leave him out in the rain with no rain jacket?
Look at this, Beckford.
I'm just saying.
At some point, that's a personal to sit. No.
It's relevant.
Beckford went for the near post, and Romero splays out and plays it over the line.
They'll knock it around. They'll run at you with 80 yards to go from the other end. And also the vision from distance on the pressure, on the little step up through. Remember, these outside backs love to attack as well.
Corner is a simple clearance as far as Mayaka. 7 minutes in between two teams on identical 4-2-2 records. Orange County theoretically have changed the entirety of how they played shortly into preseason due to the injuries they've sustained. And for Colorado Springs, no one is going to say that Alan Koch was playing a similar style to what Brendan Burke has implemented in his first season since joining the club in November. Edwards. Sean Melvin back in goal tonight for the Switchbacks. Mayaka sends this long. Romero. Romero foul, Galena. Switchbacks coming off a 3-1 win against New Mexico. That's another unforced error by Orange County. Would hardly call it ironic. Josh Suggs scored first in that. Mahoney. But 3 unanswered in the second half from Colorado Springs. Barry bagged a brace. And it was Beckford who scored the initial equalizing goal. Switchbacks continued this torrid run of form. Ockford. We spoke to Brendan Burke this week. It sure felt like Ockford was written in Sharpie or engraved on the lineup card.
Well, it's funny with the amount of rotation they've had within these games to start this season. They really do have a extremely deep bench, Mike. The roster itself is magnificent to look at in the starting 11, but as you continue down, still some really talented individuals. Of course, Jordan Bird has been here for quite some time, even at the goalkeeper position with Abraham Rodriguez, and how deep they can go there. Echeverria, Jose Torres, Macangila, who maybe was an unsung hero at San Diego, but still a worldly talent that Brendan Burke himself has had his eye on for quite some time. I wonder how that was always going to translate. You and I took a look at this thing a long time ago and said, the minute that they hired him, watch out, because we knew, seeing the success that he had at Bethlehem and the style that he was forced to play. I don't mean that in a negative light. That's just, there's a different process over there for Philadelphia. You knew that once he got his hand on an independent squad, that he was going to have success, because it's followed him everywhere.
This is a guy who won 71 of his 108 League Two matches at Reading. How about this little deke in by Barry? Mayaka. Beckford. Options galore. Lofted back toward Mahoney. Do you remember when the stadium opened here, Widener Field? And we asked him how that felt. He said, I've waited my whole life for this. This is my stadium. This is my gem to coach in. So much pride for that moment. That was a pretty harsh challenge, but Markkanen apparently got away with it. Markkanen's got the mentality of a center back, doesn't he?
It's the interesting way that they're lined up. I don't disagree with you. The 17-year-old Kobe Henry, you got to surround him with some talent, and they've done that. The interesting change, which threw me for a little bit of a curve, Mike, is the fact that you've bumped Brent Richards above higher into the midfield in front of Nathan Smith. And we've seen Smith play in a more advanced role in matches past where he's the one stepping up into midfield. Of course, an out-and-out marking back by trade. UCLA was a wondrous talent, approaching the 50 appearance mark over 3 seasons there. Galaxy homegrown for his efforts, and they've utilized him in a different area. I was going to say, this has to be a foul.
And the question is whether Orozco will walk away. He will, successfully, without a yellow card.
And so you switch Richards up into the midfield. Nathan Smith goes to right back. Miko Kaningas on the outside. That's the key you want to look at, because Eric Calvillo can slide and pinch out. Kaningas can still hold the width. The step is late here on that step out, though, and as you drop back down in, you're going to watch Orozco come off the back line more. Kobe Henry will sit. Orozco is comfortable stepping up in, but as he goes, the amount of speed that he has to cover and then the space in behind, that's a real good look for Colorado Springs moving forward.
This free kick is brought to you by Joint Chiropractic. We've got your back. Ball lob forward. Not bad for Oxford. Anderson perhaps overcooked that by a bit.
Well, the best of balls whipped in. Sebastian Anderson has been a bright light on the back line. He is, when you were talking about Jimmy Oxford, and I just kind of broke down the roster, Mike, he is one of the other ones that always has to be in pen. The problem is, it's really got to be in, you know, one of those mechanical pencils that's erasable because of the fact that you don't know where you're going to put him. You know, in theory, you would like to have him at right back, but the way things are situated right now with Tristan Hodge away on international duty, and you know, there's injuries around the team, the back line has really rotated a lot. Michael Edwards, young talent, of course, the homegrown, coming over from DC United. You bring him in from VfL Wolfsburg on loan with Colorado Springs. They're trying to give him some repetitions, continue that development. Matt Mahoney can play at center back, play him at outside right back. Jimmy Oxford is the constant, and then Sebastian Anderson, he flies flat out. He's got great pace, loves to get up and down the wing, sometimes a little out of sorts because of the fact they flip-flop him so much.
Taken away by Mayaka. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship, many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportamerica.com. Beckford reverses. Is with the Switchbacks. Brought down by Lewis. Lewis gets that away beautifully. Galena for Barry. Still alive here. Barry's got to get back onside. That could have been the record. Most consecutive games scored in USL Championship history, and somehow Lewis appeared to get whacked in the ankles inside the penalty area. Play continues. Perhaps under this daunting rain, he just had his feet out from under him. McCabe, Yoloski, Richards. Richards drives, header down and in! Orange County grabs the lead. It's Markkanen rising up, soaring and scoring.
No Adam John, no Kasipli, no Darwin Jones, no Renato Damas. Who was going to be that key player in and around the box when Orange County started to move forward? Almost a travesty on the other end of the field, but well worked to get back into this system. Tommy McCabe, calm, finds the overlapping run of Brent Richards, and that's your target man. Eero Markkanen, 6'5" and beyond. He's every bit of 6'6" and more. Just rises above here, and one of the biggest mismatches you can get on the field to put his team out in front.
His third of the season. And Colorado Springs surely felt hosed on one end. And now Orange County opens the scoring inside 20 minutes on the road. Lewis is offside. Here's Romero. Let's go back.
No. Nothing in it, bud. I knew you were going to look at me, so I figured I'd just tell you before you peered over your shoulder.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
That's a COVID-era statement if I've ever heard one. Peer over your shoulder at your partner. A bad idea there for marketing. All the explosive runs that Colorado Springs has slowly become known for through 8 games, making their way throughout the league, have been there, Devin. In that sense, you'd argue the game plan for Colorado Springs probably doesn't need a ton of offensive tweaking.
No, for them at this point in time, again, when you start to play very well, Mike, it just becomes about, okay, who's next? How do we continue to put out the same effort last time, but we have to find ways to get better. That talks about the progression coming in for this team. I will say some of the changes that Brendan Burke has brought out are interesting. When I just talked about, the back line and what that looks like, easy to pick out Jimmy Awkward and Michael Edwards tonight. The fact that he switched Sebastian Anderson and Matt Mahoney, that's the one that really threw us a curve in the lineup when we got the sheet, because you sort of look, and Matt Mahoney has always been a right-sided player. He was in his time at Bethlehem Steel, now Philadelphia Union 2. Right-sided center back, not usually employed on the left.
The return here for Barry. He and Galena have shared a couple moments in this game.
They'll get theirs too.
Can we talk about Haji Berry for a minute? Because the 8-game run at Swole Park Rangers, spectacular. And we spoke a bit with Brendan Burke this week. We said, hey, could be 8, a little bit of history. And he goes, when you sign a guy, you never think he's going to score in 8 games running again. And yet here we are with the potential to do it here going into the game against Orange County. It's spectacular in its own right. But there's a confidence here in Haji Berry that's grown, and it feels like it's been nurtured appropriately here.
Also recognize the fact that that confidence you're talking about was not there in 2020.
Correct.
North Carolina FC, just everybody's going to have an off year. You don't want to say give it a pass because he's a striker and he has to score goals. But given what everybody went through in the COVID era in 2020, you have to tip your hat a little bit to the fact that he still put together good performances, Mike. He just couldn't find the back of the net. You heard it from Dave Sarakin, you heard it out of Brendan Burke, that sometimes guys are just off. It could have easily been 5 more games and he scored 10 goals. And then the next thing you know, he's got 11 goals in 20 appearances and no one's making an argument.
That seems like hyperbole, but it's not.
It's not. It's very, yeah, exactly. So, that's the kind of talent that this guy has, and he's done it everywhere that he's gone. Remember, he was one of the guys drafted out of UCF that got the opportunity to work under a sort of a defensive-minded coach, that old-school mentality, the nitty-gritty under Anthony Pulis when he was in charge at Orlando City B.
Yep.
They were still in the USL Championship then. Swole Park Rangers, 19 goals in 2018 on that run. Put 6 in the back of the net in the injury-ridden season that was 2019 in Ottawa under Nikola Popovic.
Barry went for goal. Denied by Romero. Well, the system may not have been a fit. His confidence might have been down in North Carolina, but Haji Berry feeling himself from 20 yards out.
The half space that I was talking about earlier, though, watch him just dripped off the back line. This is where Orozco and Kobe Henry have to be better in communication, Mike. The 2 center backs are responsible for the well-being of this entire system defensively. If that striker steps, they've got to communicate. Either one of them goes, and then you got to cover the space, or someone else in front of them has to relay the message and step in with the runner.
Short corner. Andre Lewis. Mayaka. Rolled over for Beckford. It's easy for Romero. It's funny, I think you're starting to get to the point in Colorado Springs where other teams are going offensively. There's enough depth there. Hey, maybe we can go grab a player off their roster midseason. Hey, you know, they could withstand a couple of charges here and still manage to make their way not only into the top 4. This is a side that could very well host a playoff game with the level of talent that they have, and there'll be bumps in the road.
But in theory, they keep it up in theory. Funny because that's the second time. The first, and we can actually quote well, we can quote the second one, I should say, because we had the conversation today. We'll quote the first one. Comments from Rick Jones out of Phoenix Rising. Now, they loaned Declan Wynn to OKC Energy FC. Weidman taking over. And you know that he said that our organization, when other championship teams come calling for your players, that they're doing something right. And they're right. You know, the expectations in Phoenix very high as well, but when other suitors around the league are willing to take a chance on not necessarily a rival, but someone within the same conference, you recognize there's a level of respect there, and also an understanding that the well-being of the player is the most important. If they're being taken care of there's a good relationship between the two teams. Why not? You know, one team needs something, the player needs more repetitions. Still make friends even though you have to beat each other up on the field, right?
I mean, look at Chelsea. They've got like 73 players on their roster right now and have 50 of them loaned out, including some in England. All this space here. Yes, Smith corrals. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community through the Forever Proud project. The USL will strive to create safe, welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. In the 28th minute, 1-0 Orange County. Errol Markkanen, 18th minute. Slammed home a header. After Colorado Springs had had a couple of really good chances in a short span. The pendulum swung and Orange County grabbed the lead here. These two sides are both 5 on the bounce without a loss. This ball played through and
easy, big fella.
I'm pretty sure Markkanen even knew. Oh. Huh. You gotta say, fun weekend coming up here in Colorado Springs. You've got the match here tonight, some pre-4th of July fireworks at Widener Field, and then the real 4th of July firework display the night of against Real Monarchs. Beckford. Now, some major concerts coming into this venue over the summer. Got this team playing at this level. These players are slipping and sliding a bit with the wet conditions. Barry. Tonight, truly, Devin, we'll find the answer to how well does Corconuts soak up water.
the field, of course. We did a little expose on that the first time, right?
Yep.
Widener Field opening, the grand opening, in fact. Said this pitch was a little bit different. We've seen so many. First time out. Of course, Atlanta United have their say of what's going on at Mercedes-Benz down in Georgia. Zion's Bank, the opening of their stadium for the Academy, and Real Monarchs got their pitch over from the Netherlands.
Good slide in by Alston. And racing forward is Miko Kaningas. Kaningas, you've seen grow substantially over these 8 games. Side here in Orange County that notably lost Aiden Quinn over the offseason to Phoenix. Mention all the injuries. Some players that maybe don't get the same level of talk, but Daniel Chrysostamo out of the team. So this midfield was a bit of a project over the offseason. Alston will throw. Referee says play on.
It's obviously still a project for Orange County, Mike. Think about the fact that you're playing Brent Richards at the outside of midfield right now, who's also willing to cut in with the overlapping runs that he's got behind him, knowing that Nathan Smith can help out. Good little slide over from Brian Olowski to help out in the middle. They've been great in that connecting spot, but he hasn't played in an advanced role since 2011 with the Huskies. Think about that. You know, he was the top scorer back then. 30+ goals, 15 assists. Led the Pac-12. An all-region type player who, you know, gets drafted by the Portland Timbers, doesn't get a lot of looks really. I mean, going all the way back to 2012 now. But in a 2-year span, he gets 6 looks for the Timbers organization. Primarily played for T2. And that was after he had already been released. It wasn't until Ian Russell picked him up at Reno in 2017, really, that you saw him transition to the back line. And yet tonight, and God knows how long, steps into the midfield, and he's done his job so far. I wouldn't say he's been spectacular because he's been exposed a bit on the flank, but there's only so much you can do when you're trying to mark Deshane Bedford, right? He's more primarily focused on getting forward and letting Nathan Smith handle that load. And, you know, can he challenge Matt Mahoney on one-on-one situations? But that's what Braden Cloutier is dealing with right now. He's just finding a way to piece this all together.
Ball through for Lewis.
It feels like he should have done better here, Andre Lewis, and it's a difficult take because of the skip that it's going to take off the pitch. As he starts to step through this, he's got to judge the ball being whipped in, the amount of pace on it, there's spin, and then more importantly, it's the weather that's going to affect it as well as it jumps up off the deck, Mike. Just outside the top of the 18, can he account for all of that and somehow get a piece to bring it up over top of the talented Romero? He's trying to bring it off the outside of his right foot, but notice it skips up a little higher, just comes off the knee.
Foul here. It's Argueta. Braden Cloutier actually taps Argueta on the back. Checks in on him, the Orange County head coach.
Can someone get my guy a rain jacket, please? I'm texting Cody Kostra. Cody, if you're listening, get my boy Brendan Burke. And while we're down there, let's get Braden one too. Two of the best lookers in USL Championship, just soaked on the sideline. Come on, lads.
Edwards. Galena motors forward. Plays to the feet of Barry. Mayaka. This will be a throw. Folks, a potential playoff clash coming up. 4th of July weekend starting with this USL on ESPN fixture Saturday, July the 3rd. Up in the Golden State, San Diego Loyal hosting Sacramento Republic. It's Saturday, July 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Devin, you got a favorite in that one? Or as the co-commentators of that, are we sitting this one out?
Huh?
Okay, there's the answer. San Diego's gone 6.
I'm not walking into the Lions' den and getting myself in trouble. They're in the Western Conference. They're listening right now. Nate Miller. I'm sure Nate Miller landed sitting at home. Little scouting report for future. You know, Mark Briggs hanging out. A little cup of tea. I think he's got a little lemon twist on the side of his cup.
He strikes me as a lemon man, yes.
Yeah. A little bitter, still sweet though.
Anderson. Chance to get in behind. 2 switchback foots in that mix.
Well, the first ball put in by Sebastian Anderson inside 10 minutes wasn't that great. This is a good one though. Drops it exactly where you want it. Michael Edwards got to attack this. He knows this one gets away from him. The 6'3" frame of Michael Edwards, his homegrown rights come from DC United over to the Colorado Rapids. You've got to attack this. Come right at it. Don't even need to jump. Just lean in, poke it into the bottom corner.
Barry, a man on a mission. Mayaka. Michi Galina. He's gliding into the penalty area and allowed all the way through. Well, he had started making that run. Anderson did to the corner flag to celebrate.
The conversation around this squad was how efficient they've been in the final third, Mike, and unfortunately for them in the elements, they have not been here in the first half. Plenty of opportunities on the back line set piece. Now you get Sebastian Anderson from the outside back roll advanced inside the top of the 18. Haji Berry, the miss. Andre Lewis, Beckford from distance. Galina's really the only one that hasn't had a clear-cut opportunity. Everybody else has been out in front of this thing.
McCabe. Anderson, that's easy enough. Typically, this is the point in the game where I'd say updates from elsewhere in the conference. Ball across. Header steered out of play altogether. This is the only game tonight in the USL Championship, so I'll just suffice to say Mark Briggs has alerted us. No lemon.
No lemon. We're the lemons. You got to take us back. We're faulty. Mike, listen, we talk about this with referees. They are humans. They are real people too. So are we. We can make a mistake, right? Wrong. That's not true at all. Not allowed to make a mistake.
My understanding is social media's belief is that we and referees are entirely fair game.
But here's my question. What if the lemon was candied? You know, like at Christmas time, the candy? No?
No.
Let's move on. Okay, fair enough.
Yoloski. The clearance left something to be desired. The offside flag would certainly have gone up if he had gone for that ball. Marketing lets it roll by. Colorado Springs and Orange County meeting tonight. Winner will sit second place in their respective divisions. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr. Action will really pick up tomorrow in the league. 4 games. And Saturday, ESPN2, that San Diego-Sacramento game leads the way in what's a very busy weekend. Black Gold Derby occurring tomorrow as well. Match so good that SiriusXM FC picked it up. On the road, can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio. Ray Hudson, Tony Meola, Rodney Marsh, Devin Kerr, Brian Dunseth. The brand new USL All Access every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from MLS, the Premier League, and UEFA Champions League. SiriusXM FC, channel 157 on the SiriusXM radio and the SiriusXM app. 40 minutes in, 1-0 Orange County. Errol Markkanen bagging a goal on a Richards assist. Came in the 18th minute. Haji Berry looks to make it 8 games in a row with a goal. That would tie a league record held by
Haji Berry.
Romero. Can Colorado Springs jump on the error? Mahoney. Mayaka. Mayaka. Little give and go. Looks for Lewis. Interesting, Devin, talking with Brendan Burke about how they've worked with the Rapids to best utilize Mayaka and help him develop in the right way in this Colorado Springs camp. Richards. Argueta forced him off the ball, and Mayaka pirouettes around. And this rolled into space. Alston. Alston won't get there. Into the penalty area and a blast. Screaming up the stands from Deshane Beckford.
It's maybe not the best decision after the switch by Galena over to the left and Beckford over to the right. They favored this left-hand flank, but once again finding the feet of Beckford out in front. Saw it 5 minutes in the mismatch against Kevin Alston. He had 2 options here if needed. Galena crashing the post at the top of the 6. And then the trailing run of Haji Berry at the top of the 18. If you make the decision to go alone, Mike, you better make certain you put that on frame. Good ball.
Richards can't argue with his service tonight. It's been on point. Calvillo leading. Iloski saved. Sean Melvin. A true chance to be the #1 right now for Colorado Springs, and did well to put that over.
Given the way that they're building Orange County, we haven't really had to talk about McCabe or Calvillo a lot. There's just so much movement on the exterior. Colorado Springs are pushing them to the outside. They talked about how compact they wanted to stay, almost to a fault right now, Mike. They're leaving so much space on the wings. The runs are so simple. You don't even have to overlap. You just step into it. They don't need the advanced runs from Kevin Alston or Nathan Smith right now. Real simple for Kaningas and Richards to just step right up and whip in service.
Ball across, header, Orozco. Driven away by Galena. Good work from Melvin off that corner.
Back-to-back saves, Mike. And this one's more difficult. You know, he's got to understand all these bodies in front of him. Where's it going to come from? The first person I'm picking out in that group would not be Michael Orozco. I promise you that. And that's not a disrespectful comment. It's just all the height around him. Kobe Henry, 17 years of age, 6'2". You got to be kidding me. Come on, man. That's not even fair. Errol Markkanen, the target man is not #6. And still, he's able to hit the target. Another good save from the goalkeeper.
Alston. McCabe kept it alive. Yoloski. Back heel into a dangerous area, and Melvin will slip and slide on the turf. Barry is making fans each and every time he plays right now. Rolled down the line. Ball whipped in front. Galena shows a bit of frustration here.
This is how quick it happens, though, and for Michi Galena, the problem is, Mike, is he had to start the run this soon. He took off as soon as they played this down into the corner, and he had to get out in front of the trailing run. Had already beaten the center backs. Nathan Smith tracking all the way back across, but he pushed himself so far that it was too difficult to cut it across his body. It's a great run by Michi Galena. The problem is they needed him in a different spot at a different time. Just too much to ask.
Stoppage time is brought to you by the TikTok shop. 1 additional minute, a smooth first half. But Orange County's got the lead on the road, 18th minute. Errol Markkanen is third of the season. Can Colorado Springs equalize here? If they can't, you could argue this is looking eerily similar to the last time out. They conceded in the 18th minute today. It was the 19th minute last time against New Mexico United. 3 goals in the second half. Colorado Springs sends the fans home happy. Edwards, Alston, Mayaka, halftime.
Take a lot of look for Orange County if you're Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC in the half space that Eric Calvillo is operating under. Brian Olofsky and Tommy McCabe. There's these 2 spots right in front of the back 4, Mike, that's been much better occupied by Switchbacks FC as we've gone on, and that recognition is a great thing. They need more distribution out of Mayaka and Argueta to break in between those lines. They're not pushing Anderson and Mahoney up as much, so if you're going to rely on this front 4 at 5, you've got to go quicker in transition. There's not enough to build through.
Rain hasn't dampened the spirits, neither is the goal by Markkanen here in Colorado Springs. Coming up, the Centura Health halftime. Markkanen. Happy moments for Braden Cloutier. Orange County leads Colorado Springs 1-0 at the half.
The Colorado Springs On Tap Craft Beer Passport is back. That's right. For $20, you can enjoy a flight of craft beer from each participating brewery. Just go to fox21news.com, click on Features, click on Deals, and purchase your craft beer passport. The Colorado Springs On Tap Craft Beer Passport. Purchase yours today. Meteorologist Matt Meister, voted the Gazette's Best of the Springs winner, TV weather anchor.
Today, our quaint little town becomes a really big deal.
We have to fight back. They're a billion-dollar corporation, and we're
Not.
I care about the people in this town.
People seem excited.
With all of the mining stuff, if they want to play dirty, I'm all in.
The Republic of Sarah, new series premieres Monday, June 14th, only on the CW.
Good job, guys. You're gonna use the restroom. Go down the main concourse. Don't use the restroom.
Back in Colorado Springs, where the lights are turned all the way up here in downtown. Tonight's honorary healthcare family of the game is the Martinez family. Jamie Martinez is a proud Centura Health partner of the Colorado Springs Switchbacks and serves Penrose St. Francis Health Services. Thank you for all you've done to help our community throughout the pandemic. The Healthcare Family of the Game is co-sponsored by Encore Electric, along with Olson Plumbing and Heating. Thanks to the Martinez family. Meanwhile, here at the stadium, 1-0 Orange County over Colorado Springs. As we do every week, Devin Kerr looks back at some of the great games and gives a truly thoughtful, nuanced commentary. This is The Dish.
Week 11 in the USL Championship. We're going to talk about Week 10, and it's The Dish, and I'm going to give you the 6th minute, and we're going to give you 6 goals. Paolo Del Piccolo going to have fun right at the top of, not the first, not the second, not the third, not the fourth, the 6-yard box. Back heel on the bottom of the net, Lipa FC. Louisville out 1-0. Same old story for Indy 11. You know, it doesn't matter what you do for them. They just can't score goals. You change the formation, but you can't change anything. That's not true. Neville Hackshaw on the outside of the back four. And as my man Mike Watt says, he's been a revelation. Otherworldly in a second. But Jonathan Gomez had other ideas. He's under 23. He was not named to the 23 for the Gold Cup preliminary roster. Nice goal from distance. Trickles into the back of the net. 2-1 Louisville City. Okay, so this makes sense because Louisville wins every Lipa FC now, right? Wrong! Nick Moon. That's just downright rude, and it's out of this world to Neville Hackshaw on the back post. What a finish from the outside back. Now it's 2-2. But now you have a problem. Louisville, you have a problem. Ardiaga on the back of the net. Smith, again, goal, assist for Cameron Smith. Indy 11 are going to win this game. They're going to win a Lipa FC. They're going to do it and get 3 points. Nope, Louisville gets a 3rd goal. 1 point for each. But I like what we're seeing out of Indy 11. Back-to-back results. They got home. Birmingham on the weekend. Louisville traveled to Sporting Kansas City. Battery versus Loudoun. It's 3-0. The only thing that matters here, the 10,000th goal and USL Championship history is scored by Stavros Zarakostas. That's a good ball in by Logan Gadula, by the way. Love him. Coming in from the outside, picks out the far post. Little tweak in the system as well. 3 back, 4 back, doesn't matter. They succeed. They'll be there playoff time. 6 out of 8 in the Atlantic right now. Tulsa. Tulsa. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy because finally, the boys involved in the Black Gold Derby are back. Black jerseys out. Rodrigo da Costa. Look at this run. The back heel in the middle of the field just continues on. Makes his home in the back of the net. Rodrigo da Costa is having some kind of year. We'll get to the numbers in a second. That's in the 22nd minute. Good ball from Dario Suarez. Watch this from Cabato. Right here, this ball right there. Oh my goodness. Apologies not needed. Da Costa again. MVP-like numbers, starting to put up MVP-like performances from FC Tulsa. They would get a double yellow, get a throw out. RGV grabs another one in J. 92nd minute off Sanchez. I got to tell you, 3rd loss in a row. Well, 3rd loss overall for RGV. Tulsa Black Gold Derby on the weekend. Good results for everybody. We're all having fun. We'll see.
I wasn't going to let anything get in my way of achieving my goals, which were to be a professional soccer player. So the first opportunity I got at preseason, when a teammate asked like if I was dating a girl or something, I just came out to a bunch of my teammates at dinner and said, no, I'm gay. All I needed to do was that one time, because then I didn't lie. Your sexuality should never limit you from playing the sport you love.
Brings it down to his chest. Jordan McCreary has tied it here. Takes a hard strike, saved by Romel Gomez.
The Colorado Springs On Tap Craft Beer Passport is back. That's right. For $20, you can enjoy a flight of craft beer from each participating brewery. Just go to fox21news.com, click on Features, click on Deals, and purchase your craft beer passport. The Colorado Springs On Tap Craft Beer Passport. Purchase yours today.
Halftime is presented by Centura Health. 1-0 Orange County over Colorado Springs here at Widener Field. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr back with you. Let's take a look at news and notes from around the USL Championship as we get a look at the art here downtown. Mr. 10,000, Stavros
Zaracostas, 10,000th goal in USL Championship history, and the Charleston Battery's 3-0 dismantling of Loudoun United. Loudoun, by the way, got on the win column last night, taking down the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Guess who's back? Sebastian Velasquez back again to El Paso Locomotive, and Brandon Allen, a guy who just seemed to score goals everywhere he lands, finds a home with the Oakland Roots, who have another attacking option. Go figure. They start defending, Mike. I tell you, that team could do some good things. But how about this Saturday? You and I will be on the call for this one.
SoCal, NorCal. Independence Day weekend. San Diego Loyal, Landon Donovan's side taking on Sacramento Republic. You'll see it only on ESPN2 and on the ESPN app. July the 3rd, 7 Eastern Time, 4 Pacific. Here's a look at the team of the week, and Haji Berry was a no-brainer for Player of the Week, presented by Clear Audio.
10 goals in 7 appearances. I just want to know one thing. If the conversation for Switchbacks FC and Brendan Burke is why? Why couldn't you score in the first game against San Antonio FC?
Let's wait and see if he can't score tonight. Then we'll look back and wonder why he couldn't get 8.
Ray Serrano back. I love that, by the way, for Tacoma Defiance. He's done some great things to just push those people along. Love him.
And Oakland's got a goalkeeper with a name of the gods. Zeus, goalkeeper of the week. Centura Health halftime continues here beside Pikes Peak when we return. Orange County 1, Switchbacks 0.
To make playoffs, I need y'all to lay it all out on the line.
I'm coming for everything. I need somebody that's looking out for me.
She don't own your ideas.
Coop signed a contract with my label, so I do have control.
Our justice system is fundamentally broken.
We fought to save this football program, but now there's something bigger to fight for. If we do nothing, then when's it gonna stop?
All American. Watch Monday at 7 on SoCo CW. Fox 21's Craig Coffey, voted the Gazette's Best of the Springs winner, morning TV anchor.
Rainy night in Colorado Springs, and yet a good crowd, boisterous atmosphere at Widener Field. 1-0 to Orange County over Colorado Springs. Halftime is presented by Centura Health, and you guessed it, the halftime highlights too. Beginning the 17th minute of play. Maybe a chance here to go ahead for Colorado Springs. Driving in, ball ricochets off of Haji Berry in pursuit of his goal in 8 games running. Amici Galena, strong first half. It was about a minute later that Orange County got forward into the attack. Alaski feeding Richards. The cross for Eero Markkanen. You had to know. The guy's bigger than you, and he knows it. Leaps over top, heads this down. Third goal of the season for Markkanen.
There's only one player you have to mark when this ball is lofted up in the air, Mike, and it's the only one player that they can't get a presence on. That's a problem for Switchbacks FC. We saw it a couple of times in the first half. Pick anybody out except for Eero Markkanen. I mean, it's just that simple. Their ability to break down the small spaces on the outside, Mike, wasn't possible. Do you know why? Because they didn't have small spaces to work with. They had massive amounts of grass, 20, 30-yard stretches. How many times did we see Coningas and Richards stepping 20 yards from goal, just having the freedom to pick out anybody they want in the box?
Halftime stats are brought to you by Centura Health. Shot advantage for Switchbacks, possession as well. But Orange County with the all-important go-ahead goal. Getting ready to kick off this second half of play. And Haji Berry gets us started. Switchbacks trailed a goal to nil against New Mexico. Came back to win 3-1 last time out. Will we see it happen again? Colorado Springs and the new Widener Field in all of its glory tonight. Devin, it's fun at halftime. You see the lights flickering on and off. You've got the music pumping with the new sound system that's in here. There's just a more lively atmosphere here than there was at, shall we call it like the Crew, historic Widener Field.
I'm here for that. I want to take a picture with the sculpture. I feel like I would look good next to that thing.
There's many, many tons of steel that went into that. Gift to the city. All you have to do is stop by downtown, take a look at the stadium while you're there. Devin, if you're Colorado Springs, how much are you really adjusting at halftime? Because most of that game plan felt like it worked.
The only adjustment is going to come defensively and just understanding what the relationship was like in the middle of the field for Eric Calvillo and Tommy McCabe. They weren't necessarily the main reasons why this team was good going forward, but the problem was is they're occupying so much allotment centrally that has thrown Switchbacks FC off. And so 10 minutes to go, Mayaka and Andre Lewis started to get this thing going. Everything was on the exterior, and so as they pushed it outside, it was great for them moving forward, but it didn't suit them when they started to track that back defensively. Multifaceted is the reason that this team hasn't lost since the third game of the season against New Mexico United. 3 wins and 2 draws in that time frame. We've talked about Haji Berry and how many goals he's been able to bag, but he's also been great distributing to everybody else, but you've eliminated that option, keeping everything on the outside. In order to be successful moving forward, unless they're just flat out running with 50 yards to go, which is possible, they've got to start to work through the interior as well.
Kept by Lewis. Argueta. That was a required step back from Deshane Beckford. Colorado Springs felt like last time out they were getting into better positions to be supportive. Finding isolation for Beckford and Galena. Much of that is carried over from the most recent match. Rolled ahead, ball sliced across dangerously. Will run off the face of Olaski's cross. Markkanen sliding through. Three wins on the bounce here for Colorado Springs. 4-2 at home against Tacoma, 3-1 at home against New Mexico, sandwiched around a road win in Austin. In that span, 10 goals, true explosion. You could argue that they've conceded 5 in that span, perhaps a hair on the concerning side, but compared to last year where they were among the worst in the Western Conference conceding, you'd say the 3 wins are all you should really be looking at from that. Although you mentioned those potential defensive adjustments moving into this second half. There's no such thing as perfection as a coach, always just aiming for the next best thing.
For the most part, even in the brilliant performances put forth, there's always a lesson to learn from. The growing pains are what make this all worth it, Mike. It's what builds chemistry, helps with the character when really struggling for form. That's not the case for either one of them right now.
Galena gets it to Barry. And wide now. Anderson. That was off target for Barry. Comes back to Mayaka. Edwards. I mentioned that time at Wolfsburg, coming out of DC United. Worldly, you'd say. Rapids acquired his homegrown rights, which is a long-winded way of saying there were salary cap issues to consider. Miloski, covered by Lewis.
Worldly, not to be confused with Oldie Harris. Sitting at home enjoying the broadcast. Love the little selfie that he sent us a second ago. One of our former coworkers, of course, goes down in Rapids lore for so many different things. Player in the late 90s coming out of Clemson. Mayaka will know something about that. Wonder about that relationship and how that worked in the draft room, right?
Sure.
The war room. Even though he didn't play for Mike Noonan, I'm sure that he's got a good relationship there. Now back as an assistant coach. Of course, he was the interim head coach for this team back in 2019. After the departure of Steve Tritschut, took over and find out what the vision was going to look like for him in the future. What a great person to have on staff for the Colorado Rapids. And to be honest, a great person for Brendan Burke to lean on as well. The two of them, penny for a thought to be in a room with them.
Galena screaming past Romero. Although the concern, of course, that Woldy knows all of our secrets. Here's Mayaka setting this up for Galena.
Well played. Good ball back across here, too. And, you know, there's an interesting dynamic between this team, Mike. And it's part of what we touched on in probably the 20 or 25th minute of the first half. Let's revisit it. When things start to go wrong for them, and I don't mean that negatively, when they start to step forward and the space is no longer there, the dimensions that it now can operate through for Colorado Springs is the fact that they can now step on the ball and recycle to another direction. That's a pretty good look at it, where they don't need 60 yards to run at this. This team reminds me a lot of the transition for Phoenix Rising from 2018 to 2019. Now, understand my reference point there before everybody jumps down my back on the team that won 20 games in a row. I'm talking about a team that was one-dimensional in 2018 for Phoenix Rising. You basically played an overlapping ball into Amadou Dia. You found a streaking Jason Johnson, a Chris Cortez that had space out in front of him, and a Didier Drogba free kick. Now, you can put the ball on the ground in 2019. They knock it around. They were much better. It's totally different here. You're laughing, you disagree?
No, I'm laughing because you simplified something that you really got that down to one sentence with many semicolons.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And yet no one could stop it, so who are we to judge?
No, exactly. Again, there's success every which way you look. It doesn't necessarily matter how you do it, it's if you're good doing it, right?
This is another instance of Mike looking over his shoulder and looking at Devin.
You're just eyeing the tee to help get me through the rest of this match.
However, it is the first instance of Mike speaking in the third person.
Notice, by the way, and Mark Briggs at home will be happy, no lemon, Mark Briggs. Just a heads up.
No lemon, but you are using that throat coat. Not a sponsor yet.
that's my electrolyte for this match. I'm sure these boys could look for a little spark right now. Colorado Springs trying to get an equalizer here in the second half.
Argueta, a mechanical engineering student once upon a time, was found in an adult league, Sunday league, so to speak, by Ventura County Fusion. They said, hey, you're pretty good. You want to come play against Glasgow Rangers tomorrow? One thing leads to another, and the former Colorado Springs Switchback captain in his third stint now for the club. Can you imagine? Sunday, you're out playing in the park and someone goes, yeah, that's good enough. Scottish champion's gonna be here tomorrow. Wanna get in on that action? Argueta.
Gotta be real careful in the midfield. And one of the things for Philip Mayaka that he has to work on here is there's got to be some sort of step for them in the midfield. I'll get it. Taxi. Does the ball boy go that far?
Well, that's why you have the net.
Touche. But in the midfield, Andre Lewis, who's making home underneath Haji Berry right now, they haven't really been able to play through their 10, and so you need another way to bridge the gap here, Mike. And whether it's rotating through Sebastian Anderson, balls off the back line from Jimmy Ockford or Michael Edwards, as they play through the middle, Mayaka and Argueta have to create a balance. That symbiotic relationship is synonymous with success for Switchbacks FC. Where they're not at their best is when they both drop, and some of that's gone on a lot tonight, where Argueta will step back in, Philip Mayaka will come as well. If they both come, that's got to be an understanding by Lewis that he's got to then drop into that space. Lewis isn't coming back into that space. So the conversation as Mayaka comes now, watch all the room right through the interior. There's the mark, and there's about a 25-yard gap, nowhere to play through. So they're trying to find somewhere to break the line back through. And now you've got Haji Berry coming in. See, he recognizes that space. But now you're pulling him further away from goal. 10 goals in 7 matches. I'm not bringing him even farther away. I'm trying to find a way to get him out in front.
This is beyond the back line of Orange County, but maintained by Lewis, and Romero will leap and catch this. Romero's got a love-hate relationship with the ball right now. Devin, you got the ball, but what are you doing, man?
Easy.
You're the one who threw it.
What you get for letting me out of the booth.
Richards will throw here for Orange County. Good from Smith under pressure. Got by McCabe, blasted forward. Haitian national team calling up Ronaldo Damas, who's bagged a half-dozen goals in his last 5 games. Orange County still grabbing the opening goal. You could tell there was frustration in Eero Markkinen for having essentially been benched because of how well Damas played, but also very much a different style. One that was working at the moment. Markkinen back into the starting 11, immediately scores inside 20 minutes. That's the difference maker right now. And that's a complicated situation, right? You want what's best for the team, but every player wants to play. Braden Cloutier explained exactly what the thinking was. Markkinen understood. Doesn't mean Markkinen's happy about it. Chance to reestablish himself as the lead, with Haiti potentially set to make a bit of a run here at the Gold Cup. There's no reason to think they won't, at minimum, be competitive through the group stage, maybe make a run in the knockout stage as they did in 2019. Caption that from Mayaka. Kuningas. Alston. Booked in the first half. only booking of that first half. It's been a fairly clean game as we approach the hour mark. Yoloski bounces it outside. Richards. Markkanen was making that run where he's so dangerous.
They're very impressive right now in their build-up for Orange County. Tommy McCabe has become the lone number 6 as Eric Calvillo is playing a more advanced role. Brian Yoloski has created this flat line right across Mike that is truly challenging Switchbacks FC right now. They're trying to find a second goal. Efficiency is something that when you talk to Braden Cloutier and seen what his teams have done in the past is always one of the key words, but right now they're playing at another level. Very clean in their buildup.
On the first time, what a rip from Calvillo. Bodies splay everywhere. This is a free kick. The United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com. Colorado Springs is preparing to make a sub here. Jose Torres inching toward the 4th official. That'll be a bit of a reunion of sorts. He played alongside Michael Orozco for the U.S. national team. And here comes the change. This substitution is brought to you by the William J. Hybels Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Learn more at hybelcenter.org. Argueta off, Torres on.
By no means is this a poor performance by Ronnie Argueta. They just need to start to stretch this game in a different fashion. I just talked about the lineup, Mike, for Orange County across the middle of the field. Basically, it's sitting like this right now. Kaningas, Yoloski, then Eric Calvillo and Brent Richards. Now, the two in the middle can interchange, but Tommy McCabe tucking down underneath. They're just saying, if you want to beat us, you're not going to be able to play through us. They've kept the two holding midfielders in Mayaka and Torres behind. They've got to start to find these long balls through.
Ball ahead for Barry. Slide down by Orozco. Look at Romero. 2 hands right to the chest of Orozco.
I was waiting for you to ask me, how do they then do it? This is how. It's distribution coming back through. I talked about Mayaka and Argueta, how if one drops, 2 things have to happen. One, they've got to be able to create 3 little steps, right? Go from the 6 to the 8 to the 10, or you've got to bypass that directly with a quality ball down through the middle. That's what you get out of the vision from Jose Torres alongside Mayaka.
Melvin in reverse. I really like what we've seen from Andre Lewis today. Ball through, Beckford, dancing. Taken back here, Torres. Beckford, sought Lewis and Galena. The deflection. And Orange County can run. Brian Yoloski. Brother at Monarchs, brother at Las Vegas.
Rude.
All UCLA Bruins. Ball in behind here. And ahead now for Barry. Barry has to run this all the way down. Barry with Orozco riding his back. You can Perhaps see the stress of that moment for Barry.
This is indecision, Mike. Out in front. Be selfish here. I know what Galina's trying to do, this ball across. He doesn't need to be honest. If he takes another touch, that's a better look. As he plays this ball back across, it's got too much pace underneath it. Haji Berry has to then chase it down. Another touch out in front of him with his pace. Then he can bring it back and he can attack it if you're Haji Berry. You still have the option for Galina one-on-one.
This will come away. Mayaka. Torres. For what it's worth, Evan, on that previous ball, I'm still not entirely sure that was played to an onside player. It's mighty close, Galina and Barry. Nonetheless, corner kick brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, that's what I like. Good early inclusion here from Jose Torres. 4-time Mexican champion, 3-time Champions League winner. Won the 13 CONCACAF Gold Cup on the roster at the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. Mayaka. Substitution coming here. Alston comes off here. Talk about a tough gig tonight for Kevin Alston. And you'd have to argue he handled it all quite well. Replaced by Raymond Dre. Only Dre's second appearances, played 8 minutes this year. And you want to talk about getting thrown into the fire. This is as close as you can get on a night this wet. Dare I say, moist. Romero. Skips down to Melvin.
Let's see if they bump Brent Richards onto the back line now and move Caningas to the other side. Seen the change made like this before, bringing Raymond Dre on and into the midfield. Looks like the direction they're going to head now for Brent Richards. One-on-one, far side, Galina. That's gonna be a front track race.
Anderson. That's Barry dropping in. Torres, who came on for the Orange County native Ronnie Argueta less than 10 minutes ago. Mahoney. Mayaka. Anderson. Available and got the ball away. Still here for Beckford.
Just keep an eye on the rotation for Orange County right now, Mike, and the communication, more importantly. Taking Kevin Alston off, it's not a simple Dre on into the left back spot and then Alston off. Here's what they've done. Dre comes into the midfield. The switch is simple to figure out to moving Caningas to the right side, but then you take your midfielder and Brent Richards, drop him into the right back spot, and you move Nathan Smith to the left back. So it's actually 5 overall changes just with 1 sub. How does that affect the team chemistry sitting on a 1-0 lead on the road?
How many arrows have gotten onto your page tonight?
The good news for fans at home is knowing the team like the back of my hand. I haven't had to pull out my stilo as many times tonight.
Good run by Anderson. Anderson across. Missed Lewis. Perhaps overran it.
It's the second time tonight that Andre Lewis is going to rue the day that his finishing skills maybe didn't stay a little bit further after a training session on the ground to get some reps in. No touch on it on the backside by Brent Richards. Just a missed timing thing. And for Andre Lewis, I don't disagree with you. He's been good for this team in build-up going forward. A lot of people look at the number 10 role sitting underneath someone like Haji Berry and alongside Galena and think, okay, everything's got to run through him, but that's not the case. The way that they build. He's a facilitator, Mike. He allows everybody else around him to be greater. That's why you don't necessarily see a bunch of statistics next to his name, excuse me. 7th appearance on the year, only 1 assist to him. But it's the little things that he does in these small little spaces. Sometimes it's not even a touch. You know, he'll still provide the presence up top when Haji Berry jumps in. Now, I like Berry to be that main spot up top, but he can stretch the game for you as well.
Dre fouled. The card had already come out, and Torres was looking around going, okay, who's it on? The gesture and the crowd expressing disapproval seems obvious enough. Yellow card issued to Torres. Caution sponsored by Diversus Health. Mental health and well-being for all. Torres and Brendan Burke both expressing their displeasure with that.
Getting in a little lab workout on the sideline too.
Jimmy Ockford having his name chanted by the supporters who may need the help now. Dre. And it's a wonder anyone forgot about Dre.
Wow. Good for you. Good for you to work that in. You really are something special sometimes, you know that?
Right. Harold Markkanen scored in the 18th of this one. Orange County maintaining the advantage. Haji Berry was in an offside position. Markkanen's 3rd of the season could lead Orange County to a 4th win in their last 6 to tag along with a pair of draws. They drew against LA last time out. Damas scored in the 4th minute. Preston Judd scored in the 10th, and that was that for the scoring. Torres is on a yellow already. He's only been on the field for 5 minutes. Watch out. This could be it for Torres. Referee taking a long look. Orozco, who knows Torres as well as anybody on this field.
It's not going to be the end of his day. It's just going to be a stern talking to here, knowing that the leash just got a bit shorter for Jose Torres. In the middle of the field, good ball coming back across. Eric Calvillo, extremely efficient. It's a foul. It's simple as that. Not only did he not get the ball, he got a huge chunk of the back leg of Eric Calvillo.
If he weren't on a yellow, do you think that is one?
No.
Mayaka, however, argues his case. He's gone into the book. Yellow card is presented by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all.
This one's a bit different of an argument. The left foot. I'm not necessarily sure this is a yellow card. It's a foul, 100%. He gets the outside of the boot. He's trying to go for the ball. It's a good play on it. But for a young man like Philip Mayaka, who hasn't really got himself in trouble, Mike. From the referee, I can tell you this, I'm not pulling out a card. I understand why he did it. Doesn't mean I have to agree.
Colorado Springs inching forward. Barry, Mayaka, Torres. Bouncing in from Galena. Foul. Ball across is lifted away. Corner coming. It's off to the Pepsi corner. Pepsi, that's what I like. Note on Torres and Orozco before it clears my mind. Last time these two played in the same game was the 2013 Gold Cup for the U.S. national team. 5-1 win against El Salvador. How about this? Galena! Galena! There is a swath of switchback players that wanted that played to them. Galena tried to go to the near post of Romero, another corner.
Good on Abraham Romero, recognizing the fact that he's got to keep this covered though, Mike. Excellent ball played in behind, and Galena sees the trailing run, tries to cheat. This is textbook goalkeeping by Abraham Romero. He knows the right foot is where it's going the entire time over his left shoulder, and still doesn't commit to the runs on the inside because he trusts his teammates to lock that run down.
Romero's looking around a bit dumbfounded. Yellow card given to Romero here for early instance of time wasting at 77 minutes. Yellow card issued to Romero, sponsored by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Go back a step, the Orozco match. So this is scooped up by Melvin alongside Torres. Torres came off as a starter. Breck Shea replaced him. Michael Orozco came in for Matt Beasler in that game. Notably involved for the U.S. on that night. Jurgen Klinsmann, the coach. Michael Parkhurst was starting in that game. Kyle Beckerman in midfield. Mix Diskerud scored. Landon Donovan, the San Diego owner and coach now, scored as well. And Stu Holden was on the bench. 2013, what a time. Torres, the quick restart. Back from Mahoney. You can see Colorado Springs starting to get a bit more involved in the final third with Mahoney launching ahead. Space here for Colorado Springs. And the vital intervention with Galena streaking into the corner.
It's been great defending on this back line. Nathan Smith, the switch over here next to Orozco instead. Brent Richards coming all the way to the right. And defensively, they truly have been fantastic, Mike.
Devin, I was sitting there after 10, 15 minutes going, this could be a very long night for Orange County. How have they been able to more aptly silence Colorado Springs?
Go steal a goal. Go steal a goal. Defensively, it's never been a problem for them. Health has always been the issue that has plagued this team over the years. Can they keep everybody healthy, and when the time comes, execute? You know, the magical run that they put on in 2018, Phoenix Rising are the ones that made it to the Western Conference Championship and won. Who did they play? Orange County. Orange County was the #1 seed that year. Everybody thought that team, with all the goals that they were putting in the back of the net, that was going to be the team to rival the reigning champs in Louisville City, but it wasn't. 2019, you saw a little bit of a change. Some players in, some players out. 2020, it was a different look in 2020. That was probably the most drastic change we had seen, where they wanted to play more. They had to, given the roster. And now in 2021, you have to tweak yourself once again. So if you're able to just nick a goal here and there, especially in the absence of Ronaldo Damas, we already talked about the other guys, and then sit back on the road, they'll take it.
Corner for Orange County. Miloski goes back. Romero. Andre Lewis. Kept in by Anderson. Pinged back out. Off the mark from Beckford. Dev, I watch Beckford and I'm thinking, have they found a Corey Burke, you know, the next Jamaican to make the jump? So much talent, soft feet, eye for goal, it's all there. Certainly different players in theory.
Of course, I mean, Corey Burke, more of
a leading man.
Yeah, back to goal type striker that is still good, obviously, in transition and up top. You put that ball up in the air, he'll go win it with the best of them.
Whoever the contacts are for Brendan Burke in Jamaica,
we got to get our hands on that little black book.
Worth their weight in gold. Anderson. Barry. Barry! The whistle blows, it's going the other way. It's with Orange County. Certainly Barry invited that contact and went over two Orange County players. McCabe and Smith went over them like a bowling ball on pins.
He knows he's wrong here. Fans may not like it, but there's not really much to cry about. Haji Barry, little 1v2, tries to split the gap here. Go right in between on Nathan Smith. He's seen that move before, did his prep work. Nice little closure at the tail end of it. Got to start to change up the look, Mike. Inside 10 minutes to go. Orange County knows what's coming at them. You have to start to apply the trade in another area. You're doing the same thing over and over again right now. Their midfield shape has been brilliant, by the way. I'll applaud the back line and the goalkeeping by Abraham Romero, but with all the movement up top, Galena and Beckford on the outside, they have just cut out the distribution into this front three.
Edwards. Anderson. Dre's come on and been a nice addition. Steady. Torres. Mayaka, 6 minutes and stoppage time to go. Anderson. Anderson. Beckford lost between his feet.
Just keep it here, though, if you're Colorado Springs. Notice that every time they turn it over, Mike, it's real simple for Orange County to take their time playing out of the back. This pressure has to come higher. Move your defensive line up. You're approaching the 5-minute mark. You're down a goal. You don't have the luxury of sitting back and taking these waves coming at you from Orange County.
Steven Echeverria has come in. Former Wake Forest Red Bull Youth product. Native of the Empire State. Torres. Lewis.
Five 10-yard balls. Where's the quick diags over the top? You know, those 40-yard balls all the way to the back stick. Runners there, spaces there, can't spring them. And they're trying to build here, Mike. Nothing challenging the overall shape. It's just A to B. They're not bypassing the singularities in the midfield. They're trying to take steps, and though that is a good look, it's just not there, and they're trying to force it in.
Away from Echeverria, and it was a campfire around the ball. Beckford racing ahead. That previous sub was brought to you by the William J. Heibel Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Learn more at heibelcenter.org. Those are the electrolytes they need.
Well, you could see the ball in his calf. I don't know, everybody's yelling at. It's a definitive cramp, I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Off to the Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center for you.
Little mini trumpet. You think you could play the trumpet?
I tried. My twin brother can. I don't belong anywhere near.
Does he?
Yeah, well, he did.
Still?
No.
Oh, past tense.
Yes.
Moved on.
Injury stoppage brought to you by Centura Health. I'll say what I said in 2017, Tampa Bay and Cincinnati at Nippert Stadium on ESPN2. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Kuningas helped off here. Colorado Springs, the one-man advantage here. The ball across, multitude switchbacks around it. And this will ping off the corner flag and result in a corner kick. This corner kick is brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi, that's what I like. Ball across for Ockford. .90 seconds and stoppage left. Edwards couldn't complete the switch. goal here for Orange County. Surely seal the points. Dre. Yoloski. Calvillo setting up Kuningas. The return. Calvillo. He's scored for Orange County in the 90th minute. He's made it 2-0. His first in an Orange County shirt. And the side from Southern California appears poised to grab all 3 points.
Seems like this young man has been on the professional landscape for ages. It's because he has. 6 years at only 23 years of age. Cosmos, San Jose Earthquake since 2018. Just needs regular playing time. The loan to Ian Russell multiple times. Play him on the inside of the diamond. Play him on the outside. Drop him into the 6, the 8. I said to you around the 70th minute mark, he's been the most efficient on the field for Orange County. Finally playing in an advanced role. It's game, set, match for Orange County on the road against Switchbacks FC.
Stoppage time is brought to you by the TikTok Shop. 4 additional minutes. It is Calvillo's first goal since September 2018. Scored for Reno on loan from San Jose. The game winner in a 1-0 victory over LA Galaxy 2. And Orange County appears poised here to continue up the Pacific standings. What a remarkable effort from Orange County on the road. Sturdy performance, one that looked a bit nerve-wracking not too long ago. They do have 2 games in hand on San Diego after tonight. This would move them level with San Diego and only 2 points off Phoenix. Ball bombed forward. There's an appeal for a handball here for Galena. Richards is still having that argument as he chases it down, and Galena has completely turned him and plays it in front. Ball bounces toward the penalty spot and away. Look, get a goal here in the next minute. Maybe something can happen for Colorado Springs. All the while, you're still talking about Haji Berry on 7 games with a goal. Well, this is a signing, a 17-year-old, into the side yesterday. Nico Kuningas comes out. All the way back.
Just one of those nights for Switchbacks FC, Mike. No magic. Stars did not align for Haji Berry. 99th regular season appearance, sitting on 48 regular season goals. The hope was a couple of things would happen. Regardless of the outcome of the game, truly did want to see him tie and set a couple of records of his own. One more, which was 60 seconds to go, he still has a chance to do. If he can grab 1 goal in the next 45 seconds, he will equal his mark set back in 2018 with the Swope Park Rangers of 8 games consecutively scoring. Currently sitting on 7. The hope was that he would grab 2, which would put him on 50 regular season goals overall, and it would break the fastest mark in USL Championship history to that number. Number currently held by Chandler Hoffman. Took him 100 games. Haji Berry sitting on 99. Looks like we're not going to hit that, and the scoring record will be broken. However, next time out, still a chance to equal the mark.
Slide in there, Dre goes down. Orange County get McTagan for the first time. And the full-time whistle arrives. Orange County goes away to Widener Field and knocks off Colorado Springs. 2 sides on 5 matches unbeaten, and it's Orange County who keeps their form and moves into second in the Pacific Division. Markkinen, owner of the game-winning goal, and Calvillo grabs the insurance in the 90th minute. 2-0 Orange County.
Best result on the season for Orange County. Truly magnificent performance put forth here. 9th game of the season. They're 30% of the way in, Mike. They're right there. Your assurance from Calvillo in the 90th minute. They've only given up 1 goal per game over the last 4 matches played coming in. They blank Switchbacks FC. They did it to Oakland Roots as well. 6 games unbeaten to the tune of 4 wins and 2 draws for Orange County.
Votes are in. The Better Business Bureau man of the match is Haji Berry. Read verified customer reviews and check business ratings at bbb.org. More in honor for Berry's efforts over the last month and a half. Tonight's critical moment of the match is brought to you by Centura Health. And this could have been the moment.
Should have been too. He expected this ball on the ground. We all did. The problem is it skips up a little bit right when he hits it. There, gets underneath it too much. Galena, Haji Berry wanted this ball out in front of him. Can't blame it. The streak ends at 7 for Haji Berry. 5 if you're Switchbacks FC and Brendan Burke. Still a quality run within the Western Conference and what's going on in the Mountain Division. Games in hand, sitting nice for Colorado Springs moving forward. We'll be back with highlights and stats.
The Colorado Springs on-tap craft beer passport is back. That's right. For $20, you can enjoy a flight of craft beer from each participating brewery. Just go to fox21news.com, click on Features, click on Deals, and purchase your craft beer passport. The Colorado Springs on-tap craft beer passport. Purchase yours today.
Two 2-0 Orange County over Colorado Springs tonight. Our post game is brought to you by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. One thing I can say with assuredness, tune in August the 10th when Colorado Springs goes away to Memphis. That's when Haji Berry will score for the 8th game running. The streak ends at 7 tonight. Let's take a look at the full-time highlights. They're brought to you by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. We start early with what could have been the opportunity for Berry from Galena. It was never going to get better than this.
There's not a lot on the offensive end for Orange County. There is, however, from Switchbacks FC. This ball, just bring it square. I understand you're trying to pick out Haji Berry. He thinks that he's going to get taken down by Kevin Alston, but he had a window to work with, and less than 60 seconds later, Mike, watch Brent Richards put this thing on a platter for Aero Markkinen. Don't mind if you do. What a ball and performance this was by Brent Richards in the midfield. Led his collegiate team, the Huskies, in goals and assists multiple times. That's going all the way back to the early teens in 2000, prior to his time with the Portland Timbers, prior to his time with Reno. Pump him up into midfield and let's have a little fun. They did exactly that. Switchbacks FC look for an equalizer. Twice we saw Andre Lewis with opportunities, mistimed a tiny bit. He gives this team a lot of looks moving forward. He does not give them goals or assists. That's okay. They're going to try and find another direction, but they don't. Instead, Orange County gets some insurance. 90 plus, Eric Calvillo, one of the most efficient players on the field all night long. It's the first time he steps inside the 18. It's the first time he hits the back of the net for Orange County. That's their second of the night. Statistically, Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC won every single category except for one. Fouls conceded. But the only one they didn't win, Mike, is the one that mattered. Goals in the back of the net. They lose 2-0.
Full-time stats are presented by Diversus Health, mental health and well-being for all. Devin, home match coming up here for Colorado Springs. And you hope on the 4th of July you can get back on another streak, right?
Absolutely. You want to turn around and get right back to work. Orange County will handle Tacoma Defiance. 2 great squads, 2 great performances, only 1 victor.
It had to be one of these 2 sides grabbing a win. Tremendous form for both, but it's Orange County who gets the job done on the road for our tremendous Vista WorldLink team in the rain, in Colorado Springs and beyond. Producer Ava Ponte, Director Gage Tillotson, Paul Beam, Devin Kerr, Mike Watts. So long from Colorado.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.